Thresh with both Jinx and Aphelios available, but you could also just go for like a Xin Zhao or something yourself if you want to play that style. But that depends on Tien, right? Because prioritizing the Hecarim in game 1 over all of these high priority junglers that we usually see.
So yeah, I think taking the jungle here is probably your best option here is Tien. You know he loves his Viego, but I feel like taking the Xin Zhao is probably your best bet just to stop the MC Hammer comp on the upside, but it actually goes towards the Lee Sin. So yeah, so you just end up with the Xin Zhao here to go for the don't touch me, right, with Gwen and Xin Zhao. It's super simple. So I think you just take the Xin Zhao here. You can always take the TF if you want to, or you know, something like the Orianna into that Ryze matchup in the mid lane. And you still probably imagine the top esports are going to knock in the Jace here. I think their biggest worry for them is that like they're going to flex the Gwen into the jungle, like we've seen it a little bit in other regions. It doesn't have the strongest of verti clears, so maybe it's not your best option, but we'll have to see what the plan is here. Is TT locking their bot lane instead? No jungle to be seen.
Yep, the bottom lane. I mean, I like the Thresh Aphelios as a lock-in. I think it's very safe, right? And, you know, when you said MC Hammer comp, I'm not going to lie, I thought you were talking about both Wayward and Tien having champions with baggy trousers on. We were going in different directions on that one. But the Jace will be locked in the end. His trousers, not so baggy, so doesn't quite work out stylistically. But, you know, I'm not qualified to talk about fashion, so I'm going to move on. Malphite going to be banned away here by top esports.
Yeah, Malphite taken away. So still trying to look and go, hey, so they're considering Gwen a flex. That's why the Malphite is banned. They're like, hey, look, maybe this is a Gwen going towards the jungle role for Chieftain, and that's why TT haven't taken it. So I think they're just trying to cover themselves in case this is a bit of a weird one. If not, I think they're totally fine with like giving over the Xin Zhao. I think that's what top esports is saying here. Is like, look, we actually don't care what your jungle matchup is, and we have our Lee Sin for Tien. We're totally happy. Just make sure that Wayward is going to be happy in this top side, and there's no shenanigans on TT.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to lie. I don't think it matters what's locked in. There's going to be shenanigans on TT. Let's be realistic here. Tryndamere going to be banned away as well. Wayward does not want to receive a taste of his own medicine. Thank you very much. We'll be taking that off the board. Ziggs ban. You can expect potentially a second AD carry ban. Maybe get rid of the Jinx, right? It's a bit of a terror later on into the game. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we get something a bit more aggressive than that locked in on this bottom side. There's a lot of early pressure already in this top esports composition.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Vars for Jackie Love, to be perfectly honest. Like, if you want to go for the on-hit build, you still can. Like, you can, but you've got great peel here for top esports with the Lee Sin. You can always take something like a Thresh if you still want. Or sorry, not the Thresh, sorry, the Fiona to provide some of that engage. I mean, you'll lose to the Thresh in the lane phase. Still got a ton of long range, but Steve looks like Jackie Love for the moment at least going to take the Senna, so not going to go for that poke, instead going to still go towards this Senna TK.
Yep, so the Senna locked in. A bit of late game available to them, and you would imagine that Tahm Kench won't be denied, although again, potential shenanigans could occur, but with a jungler being hovered, you'd assume that Gwen is going towards the top side. Since just very strong right now, good against the Lee Sin as well.
Yeah, he does have a strong matchup, but doesn't provide that engage tool, right? And that's what's missing on TT side here. Your Thresh doesn't really set that up. The Gwen doesn't. Like, usually when I see these compositions, it's usually with something like a Jhin or a Leon in the bot side to try and set them up. Orianna, good matchup into the Ryze, to be said, but not actually, again, providing much in the way of engage. So you've got a decent amount of range on top esports side, and good opportunity to try and play 1-3-1 with TT with little opportunities for pick or engages. It seems really difficult for TT to play against top esports comp.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that surprising, is it? It's not that surprising. I'm trying not to be too negative during the draft. This is a new game. This could be really good for TT, but I'm not optimistic. The Orianna going to be there for you, Cal. Certainly a safer pick. It's difficult to Valkyrie in when you're playing Orianna, so fingers crossed you, Cal, will be fine on that one.
Yeah, I love watching these drafts though, because I know me and Jordan differ massively on the supports at the moment. I'm like big fan of like, hey, you know, Janna would fit really well into top esports composition here. And the entire time I've said this conversation with Lyric, he's just like, oh God, no, please. I need engaged champions on the bottom side. The LPL supports cannot play Enchanter supports. Don't bring me into this world. So,
I will say, that's not quite fair. Some of them can. It's just, there's just not many LPL supports that can pull off the Enchanters. Because so often we'll see an Enchanter locked in, and then they just play it like it's Nautilus anyway, you know? And it doesn't quite work out a lot of the time.
Yeah. So looking at the two comps, both of them actually lack a lot of engage. So I don't think this is going to be a very explosive kind of big heavy team fight game. I think this is going to be more of like, hey, look, can Knight and TN play through their strong mid jungle, play up towards Wayward, who should have a really good control over that top side, and Jackie Love will just kind of provide that another long range artillery for them when he gets to the later portion of the game with Wayward to try and poke down TT while they're trying to get that engage.
See if we can get poking early and set that situation up for themselves. And I want to reiterate the point we started this entire segment off with, and that's the standings right now. Top Esports not looking pretty in the standings. This is a really important series for them because this is the low-hanging fruit. I'll be totally honest, this is not a series. Wait, Jackie Love is up in the top lane. What's going on? Okay, he's just getting a ward. He's going to reset. I thought we were going to see some lane swaps or something then. Yeah, this is an important series, Top Esports. They're 2-4 in the standings right now. They need every win that they can get. They need a clean 2-0 here. Game difference will be important when we get towards the end of the split. And, you know, we are moving forwards. We're in week 5 out of 9 right now. We're getting towards the halfway mark. So you do need to start thinking about game difference in a series like this where Top Esports are going to need to be ticking those boxes if they want to be making it to playoffs.
And at least they've set themselves a good spot off with game number 1, right? Like, that was a very confident win coming over against TT. And now we got to see what they're going to be able to do here coming into game number 2. Mid jungle for them, at least pre-6, is going to be a lot stronger than TT. So maybe there's an opportunity to try and play through that. As we said, and Wayward, I just want to see like vision control set up for him. Like, let this Jace punish as best you can. So probably be something like, hey, Knight will get shoved in the early stages, so maybe TN can sneak in and get a ward, but may not be able to just in the early game.
Time being, TN and Chieftain both going to be starting on this bottom side, so we could see some action in the top lane as Wayward once again, remember, getting that counter pick in the top side. So once more, we're looking at Wayward as the kind of one of the new members of this Top Esports squad to step up and be a significant member of the team. He did an amazing job of that in game number 1 of this series. He looked pretty decent in the last series as well. So I'm really excited for Wayward as a player. I'm excited to see more of this guy.
Yeah, and already stepping up onto Nu.
Oh, my lord. Oh, Nu. That was a little dangerous. He's okay. Just knocks him away. Gets a lot of damage down, but Nu needs to be cautious.
It needs to be very safe, not really respecting this early pressure coming through from Wayward, who hits the level 2, and now he's going to be very much on the back foot. And when you're already down behind and you've got more pots in the back for Wayward, he's got the biscuits. Trying to sustain in this lane is going to be really tough. You can already see though, look at Chieftain. I like this pathing from sneaking in behind the wards.
Doesn't matter about Chieftain, it's all about Tien right now. Cal gets wrecked in the mid lane. That's a bit of revenge for game number 1 from Knight and Tien. And now Chieftain, he went for that sneak around onto Wayward, but Wayward spotted it. He figured it out. He's moved out of position, and now he's trying to look juicy, Dagda. He's trying to look juicy because Tien ain't far away, and Chieftain, I think he realizes they ain't fighting to take.
Yeah, it gives a lot of space. Oh, hang on.
Bottom side, that's a... Oh, they still don't win this trade somehow. Puff is in trouble. Oh, my days. TT, they find the engage, and they still lose the fight.
Yeah, TT, welcome to TK, the upgraded version where you actually can just battle your way back through the laning phase even if you get poor trades, because Tam Kench does so much damage in the early stages. Tien now spotting out Chieftain, giving him the old thumbs up as he roams back, because you know for a fact that Chieftain wants to try and fix his...
Jackalov has to flash, actually. Ignite, take it away. They finally get the 2v2, and Mark, he's in the wrong spot as well. Flash going to be used there. I'm not sure how long on Graviton, but it's there. It's ticking. It's available. If they can find the Q, it's going to drop off. Don't get it in time, but even still, a 2v2 kill for Puff and Southwind.
They're very close to getting him, but with the thick skin, they decide to back it up. Tien now just getting into the mid lane to give Knight this shove so he can go for a reset of... Actually, no, he's already reset. So just kind of saying hello and then moving on. Going to look for some vision control in his bot side jungle, but we'll see it here. Good hook from Southwind, but I honestly don't know why Jackulov was there, right? Like, just stand behind Mark. Mark can tank that up for you, no problem, and you can get away. But now Tien trying to come in to punish with Knight. Oh, TT.
Yeah, this is bad news, Bears. It's level 4 as the roam comes down from Knight on the rise. Tien sets it up. Puff low on HP. One more hit will do the trick, but Tien's actually going to go down for his trouble here. Southwind does survive. A little bit closer than I think Top Esports would have wanted. Going 1-for-1 in that trade. Now New takes a bit of damage from Wayward. Chieftain up in the top side, but he's on a ward. So Wayward should be fine.
Tien going down is a bit unfortunate, but the kill did go to Southwind. So all in all, 2 kills now for Knight. When you want to kind of correct this mid lane with the... Oh, hang on, Knight.
Bit of a heavy trade in that mid lane, but UCal's out of mana, so I don't think it will continue realistically. But Knight just returning to that mid lane. Remember, he's now 9 CS down because of this roam, because of trying to get out onto the map. He has sacrificed his own lane to try and achieve.
Yeah, but it's offset, right, by the gold that he's managed to pick up from the 2 kills. And you can see it there, right? You're looking at about 400 gold lead coming through for Knight. And when you're looking at this mid lane, it's the reason it's really difficult to play this matchup is Orianna taking the summon area can use the command attack to position Knight out of the lane, right? You just can't really push up and shove the wave out. But when you're able to kind of just get these big advantages, you can look to trade far more effectively against UCal, despite the fact that he has the summon area over the phase rush.
I have to say, it's pleasant to see Knight having such a good game after how game number 1
Ruh-roh.
went. Oh, you got no! Oh, it's the worst thing I've ever seen. I'm not going to lie, UCal, mate. You're not having a good start to your LPL career here, mate.
No. I mean, the Corky Valkyrie's the wrong way. The Destiny's into your death. The flash with nothing there. God, UCal, what? I was about to curse there.
Yeah, it's that kind of situation. Oh. It really is that kind of situation. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know. There is no nice way to say it. UCal having a really rough start to his LPL career. But, you know, it happens. Maybe he'll warm up. Maybe it's just a matter of needing a bit of time to get acclimated. We're actually going to have a replay.
Oh,
that feels really mean. That feels really mean, LPL production. I'm not going to lie.
Hey, look, he's putting the L in UCal. You know, that's the way this goes. But yeah, now in the bot side here, matching Chieftain. Really nice from here, from Dien to read the play.
Oh, great route coming out from Jackulov as well. They might be able to turn this around on Southwind. Tien goes in, still level 5, so no kick available. Puff charges forward. Red and white here, maybe an opportunity, but they'll back away in the end. It's just a bit of a sparring match between the two teams.
Yeah, so far though, like, so bot lane, very much a back and forth, but junglers trying to get involved. Still trying to get involved, actually.
Oh, his mind's telling him no.
Yeah, you gotta, you know the play. You know the play is there. But bot lane is a bit back and forth. Top lane, Wayward should be able to have a little bit of better time as I say that. But New's actually been doing a good job.
Sorry,
yeah, it's okay, it's okay. But New's actually been doing a pretty good job of trading back and forth on this. And Wayward hasn't got the big lead that you'd usually expect. Now, obviously, Chieftain putting a bit of attention there in the early stages did help, but certainly not the most amazing start for Wayward in this matchup. The real winner from all the shenanigans that we've had going on is Knight in this mid lane. And at least when you're looking at like the opportunity to play 1-3-1 for Top Esports, Knight being ahead is great because he will eventually be able to just like outspar UCal in the side lanes. You can like make roaming plays with Knight towards the rest of your team in the mid and try and outpace TT on the map. But you still need to make sure that you're not falling behind here to Top Esports as Top Esports. And they might be Wayward.
Wayward gets flashed on here, has that wall next to him, but no flash available anyway, and it's a good hook from Southwind. Good pickup here by TT, and it's right as Herald's come onto the map as well. Finally, an opportunity for TT to show their quality here. 3-2 on the scoreboard. They're actually up in gold right now, despite how strong Knight is feeling. The loose play in the top side, loose play in the bottom side as well. It's meant that TT have an advantage. They get the Herald for themselves. Maybe a fight off the back of it, but Top Esports, they've got to be cautious. Surely, it's not a fight they want to take.
Yeah, Nice is keeping the Gwen busy in the mid lane, so they're kind of eyeing up. Maybe we can take the 4v4 very quickly, but decide against it in the end. And it does mean that Top Esports have invested a lot onto that Rift Tower play without really getting anything in return. You can see that bot wave just kind of sitting there by itself. So from TT's side, nice job. And that's what I was about to say, right? Is like, if you end up getting caught out and fall behind here as Top Esports, you lose the opportunity pretty quickly to try and play sides. And TT can try and look for team fights, and it just relies a lot on UCal getting good shockwaves to start off.
Yeah, bit of a trade between Tien and Chieftain. Tien with the fast fingers there on his little combo, but UCal can't join the fight. And it feels like this is a sparring match, you know? Both of these teams kind of eyeing each other up, but a little more tentative to just go in than what we saw in game number 1. There's Tien with a flash kick. Missed his Q though, so it's a little bit botched, but that's a shockwave in from UCal to answer as well. The 2v2 going neutral. Each mid laner getting themselves a kill. Southland will be fine as focus over the wall. Maybe needs to be cautious. I'm not sure if Mark was going to commit to the play there. Wayward now having to back away on the bottom side. Needlework comes through from Nu, but doesn't look like Wayward is scared. I'm not sure what's going on. Wayward, why have you gone that way? If you're afraid of the fight, why are you walking towards the Gwen? What just happened?
This is not a strong mechanics game, is it? Like, so far we've seen a lot of mistakes just be coming through from individuals. Like Tien, he could have burst out Chieftain off the back of that play because he misses the Q, doesn't have the damage, and Orianna gets across, and now topside.
Well, Southwind is doing okay on the mechanics, I will say. Nice little lantern flash there coming out from him, trying to set up for Chieftain. It's not going to work out, but still look kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, the ability for TT to set up these fights are going to rely on these, like, engages trying to come through from, like, Thresh, trying to set up for Chieftain. But, yeah, I mean, just missing the Q means you don't have the burst damage to follow this up. So you can see there, Chieftain would already be dead, but because he isn't, Tien gets knocked up, gets the extra damage, and sets up perfectly for UCal with the shockwave.
And you have to wonder, we came into this second game saying, look, we want to see some good stuff from Top Esports. If the difference is going to be as stark as game number 1, then we need to see good quality gameplay out from Top Esports game number 2. And we're definitely seeing that from Knight.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that's where the compliments end this game for Top Esports. It's really not been pretty across the board. As I said, Tien is doing okay, but still not exactly perfect game coming out from him. Does feel like a lot to be desired here, but a 500 gold lead in the mid lane for Knight. That's all Top Esports can be singing about right now. Puff has been found, though. Kicked against the wall. Dawning Shadow is there. Oh, the shield from the Lantern at the last possible second. That was clean from Tien, though. That's more like it on this Lee Sin. And let's be honest, this guy, he's played 1 or 2 games of Lee Sin before. He's even been referred to by Quickshot as a beauty for his Lee Sin. So
yeah, he even has a skin.
This is not new.
You know? But unfortunately, not quite able to get the kill. Southwind is on fire this game. Like, really good hooks in the lane, saving people multiple times, trying to set up the plays for TT. Southwind has been an absolute monster this game, but Tien will still get the push back onto TT, set up the first dragon for himself. And again, I kind of want to like come back to your point you're making about Knight, right? Like, even if the rest of Top Esports aren't having the best of times, Knight can dominate in the side lane. The big issue for Top Esports is like, you want to have 2 strong side lanes, right? And although Knight might be one of them, Wayward is not getting the same impact that we saw in the counter matchup he has this time. On the Tryndamere, he was destroying you, but he's just not playing this matchup out as well as the last one, and New's been able to keep in check and actually getting those solo kills in the matchup he really should.
Yeah, it's been a tough one for Wayward, honestly. It feels like a few mistakes that are, I don't know if uncharacteristic doesn't feel like the right word, because I don't know Wayward that well as a player just yet, but kind of silly mistakes where it feels like you shouldn't be in the position you're in. Slow on to Nu. Knight moves on up. This will be a kill. So Wayward, it doesn't matter how well he's playing. Knight's here to save the day and picks up a 4.
Yeah, a nice job there. This was exactly what you needed to do as Rise to try and fix the sides. Like, the fact you actually now get up here to correct that a little bit, give maybe 1 plate across as you got 20 seconds to take that, but TT transfer bot side.
Okay, Southwind goes in, UCal alongside him, and Mark, I think he's just going to accept his fate here. Just tries to buy as much space for Jackie as possible. 4 people down here from the side of TT, and Puff with red and white. They should finish this tower off. That'll be Oh, one more play if they get it in the next second. The play doesn't get picked up by Puff. That's so unfortunate. Tien, in the meantime, pressuring the rest of the team. So it's going to be 3 plates on the bottom side for TT there. And it's a 700 gold advantage currently inside Top Esports. Much closer than game number 1 was. By this point in game number 1, it was about a 10k gold difference.
Chieftain.
Chieftain has stayed way too long on this plate. The route is there. Sonic Wave not followed up by Tien. He's just going to walk up instead. Everfrost flashed away from by Chieftain. That'll be the end of the passage of play.
Yeah, Tien not able to follow up on the Sonic Wave because Southwind's positioning there with the play. Now Tien still trying to push in by room for Jackie Love and Knight to maybe get this third on the bottom side as Mark is covering mid for Knight.
Southwind moves up once again. Root after root after root after Dawning Shadow comes in onto Southwind. Low on HP here. Yukal's behind the play. Bit of damage onto Tien. Has the Shockwave of it. Oh no, Shockwave's on cooldown. Oh, it's not as good of a flank as I thought it was. Tien gets out with his life. And there's Mark off on the side of the play as well. This is crazy. Like, there isn't even a Draco. There's nothing to even fight over. We've had a 4v4 for like the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, they've just been trying desperately to get control of this bot lane, and I thought Top Esports were just going to leave it, right? Like, you've got Senna TK, leave him be. TT are convinced that they need to get Puff and Southwind ahead, which I don't hate in this scenario with the composition they have, but when you've invested this much to bot side, Wayward now gets top tower. He reset and picked up his Eclipse, so having a little bit of an easier time now against New in his top lane, but I don't know. It feels like, again, TT, this is the mid-game decision-making we were talking about. Falling behind because they just don't really get anything on that bottom side. Commit the TP from Yukal there, while Wayward gets the top lane turret.
Bottom side. And we see finally a reset. Finally a breath of fresh air here for either team, just to take a second. 1.5 minutes until that Drake comes up. Top Esports getting the first one of the game, but the gold lead has ballooned a little bit, right? Almost 2,000 in favor of Top Esports. They finally found an opportunity to start to get an advantage. And I want to mention that Jackie on this Senna, this was probably his most played pick back in 2020. Definitely something he's very competent on. And you'll find that he's one of these players, it's like watching Reckless on Senna, right? Where you check out the souls and you realize that he's just so far ahead of what you expect. Jackie very similar because he loves to trade, he loves to be aggressive. So you can expect that he'll continue to scale a little quicker than maybe you should expect. But the Herald will be taken here by TT with no contest whatsoever from Top Esports. They're looking towards that Drake instead, but it's still not up for another 35 seconds.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to... Oh, hang on. Oh, Jack Love's going to be all right. Hopefully got it back. I wanted to see Top Esports, like, look for Rift Tower. Like, trade that position on Dragon for the Rift Tower, because their composition wants to get turrets down. But instead now, they're going to have to take the fight where TT could potentially be stronger, especially with the Gravitum for Felios. They can look for the engage off the Moonlight Vigil.
The camera just pans down to Wayward, who's halfway through a tier 2. This entire game, it's been chaos elsewhere on the map, and Wayward just hitting towers. He's basically still playing Tryndamere. He doesn't realize he's changed champions. That's why this 1v1 has been a bit rough. He feels like he's in a counter matchup because he thought it was Gwen versus Tryndamere. I think that's what's
Dragon going to be taken by Top Esports on this bot side, though. I mean, you've got so much wiggle room here as top now, right? Like, they don't get the Rift Herald, sure, but the whole reason I wanted them to see get Rift Herald was get mid turret. Because now it becomes very simple for Top Esports. It's like push in on sides with Wayward, start to get your vision control encroaching into the enemy jungle, and then just keep the pinch onto TT. And as we said, right, TT don't have a huge amount of engage, so as long as you're avoiding like the Shockwave or Southwind hook, when you're getting this vision, you don't really have anything that can follow up. So Top Esports potential here to take over, but you can see in the bottom right corner just a replay. TK there to keep Jackie Love safe, so the hook not able to find its mark from Southwind.
I just want to revisit a quick topic that I mentioned before of Jackie Love getting souls on the center. We had a look a moment ago. He was on about 80 souls, and that was about 17 minutes. Like, that is a lot of souls this early on in the game. That is really fast farming on the souls. I think the average is like 60 at 20 minutes or something along those lines. So, or at least for your average player. I don't know about pros, but either way, Jackie Love doing a good job of getting towards that late game ASAP. Tien getting forced out of the jungle here by Nu. He's trying to protect his own team's red buff. But with Wayward moving over as well, Nu's going to have to be cautious that he's not stepped too far forwards. Tien overstepping himself. Big shock blast comes in. Night flashes forward. Gets the root onto Chieftain. Everfrost is there, but the Dark Passage will pull him out to safety. And now Nu getting aggressed by the rest of the team from Top Esports. But he's doing a good job to literally 1v5 at this point because Gwen is in fact immune. Top Esports finally get the red buff. The skirmish for the buff is over. Now the skirmish for the mid lane begins as Tien over the wall looks for a kick here, but has to jump over to the rest of his team.
And now the skirmish for the skirmish can commence as Chieftain tries to connect onto the end with the wind becomes lightning, but we're still looking.
Oh. These shock blasters start to do some serious damage.
Oh,
That's
Shockwave!
a 3-man shockwave though. And Yukal trying to redeem himself, but the Dawning Shadow comes back onto Puff. And unfortunately for TT, the shockwave looked great, but there just wasn't any follow-up.
I thought that was it. I thought they were going to be able to hit the go button. We said, look, you got to try and rely on some of these shockwaves from UCAL to get the fight started, and that was it. But TT, they were as surprised as Top Esports were that actually connected.
Yeah, that was such a nice shockwave. I'm actually really sad for UCAL.
Yeah.
That it doesn't turn into anything, because we have been railing UCAL. I'm not going to lie. We've been kind of mean, because he's been playing kind of bad. But that shockwave was there to redeem everything, and the rest of TT falls short. There's no one to finish the kills off.
Oh, and they still lose it as well. Like, they lost. I don't know. It's just a sad time to be in UCAL. Yeah. Now, though, coming back out onto the map, Top Esports, right? They're going to be able to situate themselves in these side lanes. Rise going up towards the top side. Wayward starting to push onto the spot lane. With the tier 2 now gone on the bot side, if Nu ever tries to commit to a team fight, Wayward's just going to be able to take an inhibitor. And so you have to be so careful with how you try and position here as Nu. Even with the, if you try and burn like a TP out of UCAL as well, it's actually quite easy for Knight to realm warp into a play on the bot side, like look for a 2-man play onto you and then still have pressure with your TPs towards Baron. So a lot of like wiggle room here for Top Esports, but how they want to try and make this play happen. Yeah,
we'll see. What I mean, honestly, I don't really worry too much about game plans when it comes to these two teams because generally speaking, they don't seem to worry about game plans either. It does feel like it will be a heat of the moment mojo thing where Knight with his 4-0 scoreline, his 2.5 items will just start shredding people, and these shock blasts from Wayward as well. They're the biggest thing I've been taking away from the last couple of fights is how much damage he's already doing. 2.5 items for him as well. Jackulov ain't getting any weaker on this center. There's a shock blast. That's a third of Southwind's health. Getting that pot ticking away because you're going to need it. Now Baron onto the map. Dragon up in a minute as well. And it feels like Top Esports can start to really put the pressure on with these neutrals.
And Top Esports are doing a really good job of getting vision control. I know that TT just cleared out a good amount on this top side, but they've actually had vision both on bot side of mid and at the back of the red buff for TT. That means that they've been spotting Chieftain as he roams through river, and they're making a lot of their decisions based off of where he is, and now they're trying to collapse on Nu.
Certainly are, and collapse they shall. Root will come on through from Knight, but actually Gwen was immune in fact. As Tien takes a huge amount of damage, but maybe that's everything out of the tank from Nu. Does not have the ultimate remaining. No more burst. And then taken down. TT, I like it. A bit of gumption coming out here, but that shockwave onto Puff. I think that signals the end of the play. Baron backed away from a TP from Knight. And you know, look, TT pulled the trigger, and I appreciate that. This is a positive for TT. Even though they lose the play overall, I'm taking this as a positive. They did so.
When the only play that you can find as a positive is them losing half a health bar, a tier 2 tower, and the dragon, it says a lot about where the expectations for TT are in this series, as Top Esports now going to run back over, get the third dragon for themselves uncontested. And again, setting up onto these side lanes is going to be a great call here for Top Esports because TT, you can see they just can't deal with it.
And Jackulov now over that 100 souls mark as well. 23 minutes, so definitely doing a good job of getting strong himself. Chieftain, sorry. I keep on saying captain because it's TT. Breaking my brain.
There is a part of me who wants to see captain and chieftain to get like both of them together, right? Yeah, it's like the village chief and you get the captain of the sea. It's right to sell, honestly.
It's called the alpha squad, right? They're the alpha males in each situation. We're going to see Top Esports trying to get priority in the mid lane. TT, hook onto Mark, maybe a chance, flashes out to safety though, and it's Chieftain who's in trouble instead, has to use his ulti, and now Top Esports, they can chase, they can stop recalls, because guess where Wayward is? He's hitting towers in the side lane. Looks like he's going to go for a recall himself though. Maybe top esports, maybe it's their turn to start to look towards this Baron instead.
Yeah, trying to see if they can keep control of the area. They don't really have the vision in their favor. A lot of like wards you can see at the back of their own red pit that could give some movement for New to try and get into these fights. So I think top esports going to take it a little bit slower before they fully try and commit to this. We'll get vision in TT's side, but if that ward behind them isn't cleared out, that could actually be a bit of an issue for them, as New does have his TP available, and that flank position would be perfect for him.
Yeah, it certainly would. I didn't see quite how long was left on that ward, but it looked like there was
I think it was fairly
a minute
fresh.
or so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. So far, top esports not actually positioning like they want to go for the Baron. There's a couple of members there fighting vision. Excuse me. But Knight down on the bottom side here, and Wayward is here too. This is solo laners from top esports coming to the bottom side. Realm Warp is available if they need to get out of dodge, and they may well need to. Shockwave's going to come in. Knight has to flash away. Realm Warp comes on through. Wayward is going to be abandoned here, but he's okay with that. He's completely fine. 3 members committed to the bottom side from TT. And so top esports immediately move in. That ward we talked about has been cleared. Jackie Love and Mark will clear the rest of the vision. And now we're in the situation where top esports can properly threaten back.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. That was kind of the one time for top esports you can see them go for the play we're talking about, right? Like 2-man the bot side, see if you can pick off New, but didn't really have the mid pressure to try and go for it. So TT are able to dip into the bot side, deal with the threat, and then come back, and with the 2 TPs being up for New and Chief, or for UCal, they're still able to threaten Baron. So Wayward now on his own in the bot side with his TP up, as top esports move in to continue establishing vision control. I feel like they can, at any point in time, take this top lane turret if they want to. Like, they've had the vision several times up here. They just haven't been willing to fully commit with it.
Yeah, could be in trouble. Ward hop out to safety, flashes as well. Chieftain trying to chase, but an Everfrost means he hits the blast gun in the wrong direction. That's kind of hilarious interaction. He was trying to keep moving, but unfortunate for him there. Nice little play by Knight to stop his jungler getting caught out. Just check bounties, though, on the side of top esports right now. Knight has a 700 gold bounty. If he ever gets caught out in this game, that's going to be a massive influx of gold on the side of TT, which will be crucial, because currently that mid lane has a big old gold gap in it. Look at the CS difference between the 2 mid laners. Look at the kill difference between the mid laners. The level difference. It's a 2-level advantage in favor of Knight right now. It's not a pretty situation for TT, and we're complete.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be easy to kill Knight, though. Like, Fimbulwinter, Frozen Heart, now got the Force of Nature underway as well. Like, Knight's pretty damn tanky, and especially since he's been accelerated, he's got the level advantage. Like, it's going to be hard to kill those Ryze. Top, though, moving back down to the spot side, now that they've got the Realm Warp up and available, and Dragon is up in 50 seconds, they once more want to try and contest for this soul. Gwen rightfully backing away means they actually can't find the pick, so top esports just trying to hide out, see if they can either get some poke down or get the full on kill.
And it feels like at this point, top esports have completed. The onus is on TT to try and find a way to ruin this slow but steady game plan from top esports, right? They've got a Rise in the center. Southwind, I'm not sure that he needed to flash there. It's going to be on cooldown. But yeah, top esports playing this slow and steady. 20 seconds until the soul comes up, and that will be a massive win condition for top esports. I think we'll drop by Jackie Love. TT, I don't think they're going to get access to the river.
Top esports are doing a really good job of denying them, and this is where like the lack of engage, the short range really start to hurt TT, because Jackie Love, as you said, like has a bunch of souls, the range is there. Tien looking alongside Wayward.
These shockwaves are just doing so much work. The shock blasts are doing so much work. And top esports, without any contestation, get the infernal soul. Wayward just blasting away, and Jackie Love as well. So bold on this center, so willing to just walk up and get hits in.
Here we go.
And now we'll realm up to the bottom side. New, he's got 2 people on either side, and here he is stuck in the middle with us, Dagda. He's gonna walk away because once again Gwen is in fact immune.
I really need to get like just enough of this. They can't touch this music onto a soundboard so I can play it but not get his DMC. like just for these moments. But TT now with the commit from Top Esports to the bot side now have control over the the Baron area. This is where it becomes a little bit more dangerous for Top Esports because they need to face check into the short range composition that can set up for Yucal. Tien moving over. We're about to burger flip the Baron.
Oh, you better believe it. Tien, he's an expert when it comes to the Baron Spice. They're just going to go for it, but it's new to pick it up in the end. Now the fight comes on through Top Esports. Knight on the backside with an Infernal Soul. He's just going 1v3 on the back, and the rest of his team is winning at the same time. Knight is a monster, and Yucal finds it out firsthand. Triple for Knight, and game for Top Esports.
Yucal is running for the hills. He'll get out with a sliver of health. The Baron recall will get him back, but there's 5 members of Top Esports now pushing in. Bot turret is going to be gone. Mid turret is going to be the next taken, and any one of these minion lines can help Top Esports end the game.
Knight is a monster. Had a rough game number 1, got caught out a couple times in the side lane, but it does not matter in the grand scheme of the series. Knight has more than made up for it in game number 2, 7-0-1, as the Nexus Tower starts to get hammered away from. But for the second game in a row, we see uncharacteristic restraint from Top Esports. They're playing sensibly, they're playing responsibly, they're not over pushing.
Don't like it.
It's weird. It's weird,
not,
man.
This isn't the Top Esports I wanted and or expected, but I honestly think they could have ended there. I think you just TP to mid and go for it. But you see here, I actually like the fact TT are damaging this is insane to me because see 133 damage from Tien there, nearly able to execute on towards the Baron. But Knight then great TP. This was the vision that we talked about established by Top Esports previously. And he's just shredding through it. I actually thought this might have been the Penta, but with Yucal just about flashing away and the kill going to Jackie Love, he won't be able to match.
Not happening, unfortunately, for Knight. But the crazy thing to me is that he's walked in behind everyone there. He's got 4 items on this rise. They are all tank items. Even the Everfrost, realistically, in terms of mid lane mythics, that's a tank item. He's just completely invincible. It still does mental damage, especially with an Infernal Soul. And now Top Esports. They're playing the numbers game, right? Dotting the I's, crossing the T's. They're going to go through the top lane, finish that 3rd in.
I'm trying to figure out what he's building last, though, because everything that Aegis the Legion builds out of is a mythic item. So it kind of feels like he's just gone cool. This game's going to end in a little bit. I'm just going to get all the armor and magic resist off of the no magic mantle and the cloth armor, but I feel like he might have to sell that if this game continues.
Yeah, to be honest, Hector, I don't think we're going to have to worry about it. I don't think this game is going to continue. I feel like this one's going to come to a close fairly shortly. As those shock blasts, I mean, that's a tanky player for TT. Chieftain there on 1.5 items at the 32-minute mark. It does suck to be a jungler when you fall behind. Oh my days, that's 2 shock blasts. Chieftain has to go back to the fountain. That's a lot of space bought here. Top Esports, they don't have a wave to push with right now, so fortunately for them, play the waiting.
And now Top Esports starting to push in on top. You've got the waves crashing elsewhere. There's very little that you can do here at TT. You're corralled under 1 top turret, but it's nearly dead.
Nothing even happened. He just nearly died anyway. Oh, it's a weird kick. Yucal gets a shockwave Tien. I'm not going to lie, kind of just fumbled that. But it doesn't matter. New now going into the backline. Maybe it does matter as Jackie Love gets to bow to be safe here as Knight. Once again, is just going to walk at the backline and literally 1v4. It doesn't matter what you do, TT. This one is done and
we're going.
Dusted.
We're
going onto the fountain with the Realm Warp and Southwind. Almost wins a 1v4, to be quite honest there. But the Nexus will fall. And Top Esports, in style, take 2-0.
Only 2 minions in that Realm Warp, and then they nearly all ended up dying. That was hilarious, but either way, Knight 10-0-3, MVP performance out of the man in the mid lane. That was a beautiful play from the Rise, but when we look at Top Esports as a whole, definitely some cracks shown, right? Wayward eventually got control of that matchup in the side lane, but certainly